So hello everyone, once again from the Socialist Republic of Vietnam. I fled capitalist Cambodia. I really wasn't enjoying capitalism and reminding myself everything I hate about capitalism. So I'm back in the communist utopia, this time in Ho Chi Minh City, and going to be spending the month here. And also that means I have a new setup. So let me know what you guys think. I actually re-recorded the whole intro because the mic sounded weird, it just looked weird. So let me know in the comments, what do you think of this setup? Is it okay for the next month? And today we're talking about something that is the opposite of socialism, communism. We are talking about allegedly the richest man on earth, Elon Musk. Now, Elon Musk, of course, has become very controversial, more than usual over the last couple of years, and more recently because he actually had to go through with him buying Twitter, which seems like he just did it on impulse because I don't know, he loves Twitter and can't stay off it. And yep, the board basically made him buy it, and all this stuff was coming out in the lawsuit about him and his text messages that painted him in like a really, really embarrassing light, showed loads of people messaging him ideas for what to do with Twitter, like loads of his hangers-on. So today we're going to be talking about hangers-on as well. We're going to be talking about Elon Musk simps, and it seems as though Elon Musk simps are actually kind of waking up to him being a bit of an idiot, because I'm going to compare this to Jordan Peterson fans. If you guys remember my video about the Jordan Peterson subreddit turning on him, is that a lot of people originally liked Jordan Peterson because of his self-help work and also his stuff about psychology and philosophy, sometimes history, even though he's really bad at history. And then he started becoming primarily a conservative culture warrior. Now, again, this isn't very surprising considering what he actually built his social media career on, but because he became basically a Daily Wire talking head, a lot of his original fans just said, I can't be his fan anymore because I'm not a hardcore conservative. I liked him for other reasons, and I feel like that's what is happening with Elon Musk. A lot of people liked him for Tesla. A lot of people liked him for SpaceX. They liked him for this futuristic stuff, and now he's just becoming like this conservative culture warrior by basically pandering hardcore to lunatic American conservatives who seem to be his primary new audience, who are the ones to laugh at all his really boomer divorced dad memes and jokes. And part of the reason people like Elon Musk in the first place was just because he was a nerd. Remember when he was on the Big Bang Theory? And I think that sums him up nicely because, like Big Bang Theory, Elon Musk is really not funny, and people only like him because he references popular sci-fi and pop culture. Remember him saying that, he completed Elden Ring when it was pretty clear he didn't. So if he references Alien, Blade Runner, and Star Wars, they all think he's the funniest guy on Earth. And then it comes as a bit of a shock when he starts endorsing all these horrible conservative candidates, including recently at the midterms, telling Americans to go vote exclusively for Republicans. I mean, richest man on earth loving American conservatives is probably, one of the least shocking things ever, but apparently quite shocking to a lot of his fans. So what we're going to go through today is just the embarrassing stuff he's been doing and talk about why his fans are suddenly turning on him and why they don't like what he's doing now. But don't worry, there's also a lot of his fans from before who defend anything he does, including making people pay $8 a month for Twitter verification. But before we go any further, please like the video, and in the comments, I'm interested. If you were an Elon Musk simp, tell me why, and if you know anyone who's embarrassing as an Elon Musk simp, tell me why they simp for him in the first place. I'm really curious to know because personally, I don't know many people who like Elon Musk. Anyway, also follow me on social media at the Kavernacle, on Twitter, on Instagram. Instagram is where I'm posting about my travels, posting about the various places I've gone, and sticking stuff on my highlight reel. So if you care about any of that stuff, go check it out. Also, if you care about my travels, please check out my Patreon page. I'm going to be posting one video per location I go. The one about North Vietnam and my month-long stay in Hanoi is up right now. Going to be filming my Cambodia one soonish. It's actually my birthday next week, so who knows if I'll actually get that done. But I'm trying to build up as many $1 to $3 patrons as possible, and the other benefits are getting access to the Discord server and my Nintendo Switch friend code, so go check that stuff out if you care about it. Also check out my second channel, the Kavernacle Extra, where I just post random stuff, and check out the subreddit down in the description. So we're going to get into all the drama, but first I thought I'd give my take on Elon Musk, just briefly. Basically, I've always hated him. I have made videos on him going back to 2018, just talking about what a terrible guy he is. Busting unions, personally, in his factories. Like, he literally called in the guy who was forming the union to intimidate him. This guy is meant to be the richest guy on earth, and he likes to get his hands dirty, but he likes to do it busting unions and just loads of terrible things in how he treats his workforce. And of course, just, you know, his horrible, horrible family and how he made all his money. And this image he likes to portray to the world is that he only cares about the environment, he only cares about space, and he lives a very humble, modest lifestyle. Never bought it, never believed him, and I've hated him, of course, way more lately. Not just for the unfunny Twitter jokes and memes that he steals, but of course him now being mask-off conservative. Is Elon Musk actually very conservative? Who knows, but it's pretty clear conservatives are idiots and he's just pandering to them because, I don't know, he wants more tax breaks, he wants more relief loans from the government to make even more money. We're going to talk about this at the end because The Onion wrote an absolutely amazing article about Elon Musk and why he does everything he does. I've always got the vibe that Elon Musk was never really liked, like personally, by a lot of people, and everything he does is for attention and to be liked, and that's the reason he bought Twitter, because he wants to be liked by people. Because you can see it on his Twitter feed. Like, all the jokes are so terrible. And he loves people telling him how funny he is and how relevant he is. People like Lex Fridman and all these embarrassing simps for him. And that pretty much forms like his core ideology. And anyone who thinks we live in a meritocracy and billionaires get ahead because they're so much smarter than the rest of us is just delusional. It's pretty clear with Elon Musk's like Twitter takeover. He's an idiot and he's just lucky that he got so much investment in his early ideas and he fell into so much money. But let's not forget, he also had a massive head start in life because his dad owned an emerald mine in apartheid South Africa. So Elon Musk going ahead with the Twitter deal in the end, kind of being forced to by the board. And it seems like he doesn't even really want to run Twitter and he's just going from idea to idea. Originally, he wanted people to pay $20 a month for verification, changed it to $8, and now apparently you'll be able to have verification without paying the $8. There'll be like 2 different verifications, and Twitter is like bleeding advertisers, and it was already a company that didn't really make any money. It was in massive debt, and it seems like he's making it even worse, and I'm happy about that. A billionaire losing loads of money because he bought a social media app he loved just to post stupid jokes on. I'm all for that. But then a lot of people who are his fans are not all for that because they bought fully into the cult of Musk. This guy was meant to save humanity. This guy was meant to take us to Mars. This guy was meant to revolutionize the automobile industry with these terrible electric cars which drive into people when you put them on autopilot. So just like my Jordan Peterson video, we're going to have to look at the Elon Musk subreddit and look at how his hardcore fans are turning on him. I also found an article with other people who used to really love Elon Musk, just giving, testimony about why they hate him now. So let's get into this. So the Elon Musk subreddit, 1,270,000 users. On another post talking about him laying off the workers, people saying, lay off a bunch of people in the strongest market in decades. Those who have competitive resumes aren't coming back, and those that do come back will likely be in a better position. Is this all really Jack's fault? I don't know. If there is a strategy, it doesn't advertise being an organized one. So more people getting sick of him. Elon's tweets are just annoying now, turning off alerts. For a long time, I've always followed Elon and got alerts anytime he made a tweet. Car updates, SpaceX, solar, Starlink, all really cool things that entertain me. All this junk he's been dumping about Twitter is just annoying, and I've turned off alerts for his tweets. I get that there are plenty of people that like that, but for me, I'm more interested in the fun new tech. And then someone saying, I hate that he ended up buying Twitter, in the fact that he now has to address all these voices about it, as Twitter is virtually all comments compared to Tesla, SpaceX. I feel this will inundate him exponentially more so than his other ventures. It's worrisome on that front. It seems like Twitter is such a massive distraction from his other visions. He sounds manic to me. I always loved SpaceX and Tesla, and I fiercely defended him for about a decade, but nothing soured me to him quite like getting a Twitter this year and seeing his own tweets. MSM isn't persecuting you, my dude, you're persecuting yourself. Buying Twitter is the biggest mistake of his life. And then another post, Musk on Twitter revenue drop, other people saying, I would rather he have focused on building Hyperloop than fucking with garbage like Twitter. He has made a huge mistake buying this company. I'm usually the biggest optimist, but for once I agree. Damaging to his own public image. My buddy who works in advertising is saying brands are all pulling spend for the foreseeable future. He has spoken too much since the purchase. You should have stayed quiet and got to work. Twitter really ruined this man. It almost seems to me that anyone who starts getting into the political or news side of Twitter goes down a similar path to Musk's, exaggerating any political lean they have on each issue. I've seen this happen to a couple other celebrity figures I follow and at least a couple friends. If anything, I think Musk's behaviour is a symptom of Twitter addiction. I mean, that's a fair point just because of the Jordan Peterson comparison I made earlier. I'm disappointed too, but in more people than just Elon. I just hope beyond all of that, if his attention to Twitter has any negative impact on his greater goals, he'd pay attention and keep his priorities straight and his chance at success weighed. So one of the last couple posts I'm going to share, Elon sells nearly $4 billion worth of Tesla stock. Selling Tesla stock to own Twitter, big oof. Unless he can turn Twitter into a much bigger success, which he has a solid chance of, he's got great ideas for it and a solid track record. No reason to assume failure right now, this just happened. So even some of his new fans on conservative are kind of turning against him. So they posted a Daily Wire article. Elon Musk has warned that companies that continue to pay to boycott demands from the far left will face serious consequences, as he will publicly name and shame them to his more than 100 million Twitter followers. Someone saying, so do we want Elon to take notes, cancel these companies over not spending, giving him their advertising dollars that he somehow feels entitled to? Because last I checked, we support businesses' right to do business with whom they choose. Yeah, I disagree with Dems' pressure campaigns on these companies, and if I was on politics, I'd be arguing about it there. But what I'm seeing in this story and in these comments sounds awfully similar to me. As I see it, advertisers can choose to spend their marketing budgets where and when they want, full stop. You don't have to buy their products if they leave. Dems don't have to buy the products if they stay. Bastion of free speech blames advertisers for exercising their free speech rights. So I want to share an article in a sec about more people talking about, why they don't like Elon Musk anymore. But just from looking into the subreddit and stuff, the sense I'm getting is these people actually still like Elon Musk, and they're not turning on him because they hate him. And in the Jordan Peterson's case, a lot of people started to hate him for how much he got involved in the culture war and how much they felt it undermined all the redeeming aspects. With Elon Musk here, it feels like they don't like what he's doing because it undermines the other good things he does. So the bad part is they don't actually realize that this Twitter thing isn't just him making a misstep. It fundamentally shows his character and how poor he actually is at business and how he just does things so impulsively, and he doesn't really act rationally when it comes to many things. And we've seen this throughout his public career and stuff. He's so impulsive in insulting random people and saying the most inflammatory things. So I wish people in the subreddit would stop feeling like he's made a bad move and he's actually brilliant, rather than see it as, no, he did this because he's an idiot and he just does everything with the view, I want to be liked by people, therefore I buy Twitter to post stupid memes. So just genuinely embarrassing. And you'd think that these people who somehow, say they care about the environment and care about the future of humanity, who would feel more reviled at him endorsing like the most fanatical, horrible Republicans that we've had for years and years. But again, they just feel like, oh, it makes him look bad and it's bad business. So that's why they're kind of turning on him and think it's a bad idea. And they'd wish he didn't do it because it undermines the good he does in making expensive electric cars. And hopefully it undermines him in the future, because I don't want Elon Musk running a Mars colony. Doesn't seem like a very stable guy, if you ask me. Now, there was an article on Vox, and a lot of people gave like testimony to why they now don't like Elon Musk. And these are people who have more like completely gone off him, rather than the subreddit where they're like, he's an idiot for Twitter, but we still like SpaceX and Tesla. So I just want to read you a couple of these because I found it interesting just to add to the stuff we've already seen on the subreddit. So by Wizzy Kim, quitting Elon Musk's former fans have lost faith in the idea of the billionaire genius. So Selena Gomez, a 43-year-old illustrator in Colorado, has been a devoted Musk fan for the past 5 years. She says the billionaire tech entrepreneur's ambition to colonize Mars helped her find her calling, to help humanity expand into space. But in the past year, as Musk became more vocal about his support of right-wing politics, she's lost more faith in a man she once idolized. It gets harder to see him as somebody I can look up to. Though Gomez doesn't have a political affiliation, she was especially troubled when Musk announced his plans to vote Republican even as Republicans are dismantling civil rights in several US states. He knows damn well what he's doing when he says that on Twitter. He's encouraging people to move in that direction. Patrick Levy, a 41-year-old carpenter in California, became a Musk fan in Tesla's early days. The idea of not burning gas was a pretty cool one. He was impressed by how the company was making electric vehicles sexy and grew intrigued by other concepts Musk proposed, like the Hyperloop. Given that he made good on the cars, or at least the first few cars, the idea of this kind of romantic futurism started seeming viable. Now, he says, he wants nothing to do with the billionaire of his company. He used to hold Tesla stock, but he sold all of it in 2020. For Levy, the sheen of Musk's image wore off the more he commented publicly. The Thailand thing, I think, was the first big red flag. Levy became increasingly bothered by Musk's behavior. It didn't seem worthy of someone in his position. The idea of getting all the carbon-burning cars off the road is a really important mission, and he's not acting like it, he said. He grew more cynical about Musk's ideas and promises as well. Tesla seemed more interested in making spec-busting vehicles than something practical and crucially more affordable. He wants to make all these ridiculous toys for rich people. He's just not making cars for me. Among these former fans, there's an overarching sense that they would respect Musk more if he said less. Most give credit to Musk for his contribution to the space industry. The problem they see is his tendency to stride into other conversations as if he's an informed authority. Overall arrogance has kind of skyrocketed in the last few years, said Van Comerford, a 27-year-old former fan in Arizona. One more, another former fan, a 19-year-old in India, said that Musk represents the best and worst of capitalism. I so badly wanted to believe he was a guy who would change the course of humanity and would take us as a civilization to new heights. As time went on, he saw that Musk didn't always deliver, such as his promise in March 2020 that Tesla would start making ventilators for hospitals in case of a shortage, and his ideas weren't always brilliant. He's just an expert at media, and he knows how people's psychology works. I pretty much forgot that ventilator thing, but it plays into my narrative that Elon Musk just does stuff to be liked. He said he would save those trapped Thai children, and he showed him like working on some stupid thing to go through the water for the divers, but there was no way it would have helped. He said he would make these ventilators, and then he delivered the wrong ones. And remember when he said he would solve world hunger, and then the UN told him how he could do it, and then he backed out of it, instead spending way more money on buying Twitter instead. Again, this guy just wants to be liked, and that's why he does the things he does. And how embarrassing is that the only thing driving the richest man on earth is not to take humanity to the stars, is not to save the environment through creating affordable electric vehicles. It's just for people to like him because he was probably bullied as a child or something like that. Sounds like a supervillain origin story to me. Now, this should be clear to most people. Now, it's depressing to see, even in that article, that even though some of these people have actually turned on him, like they've sold the Tesla stock, they said, he's an expert at marketing and social media, not at actually business, they still think there's stuff redeeming about him. And I just hope more people wake up and view Elon Musk the way I do, is that he just wants to be popular and he's going through like a midlife crisis. Everything he says and everything he tweets just screams like divorced dad and just a boomer and someone who's really trying to stay relevant and young. But he just has such a poor grasp of what is actually funny that only people who laugh at his jokes have to be the biggest simps. And on that note of poor humour, Elon Musk loves the Babylon Bee because the Babylon Bee just simps for Elon Musk all the time. It's not actually funny. I covered that in my video about conservative comedy, about how a lot of the jokes aren't even jokes. It's just trying to reaffirm the political beliefs of the readers. But Elon Musk actually hates The Onion because The Onion takes shots at Elon Musk a lot. And The Onion is actually funny as well. So that's why Elon Musk hates them. And they wrote a really good article. I'm going to share some of it with you. And it's just titled, Please Like Me. And it's written from the perspective as if it was Elon Musk. So let's go through some of this. It can be strange sometimes to be me. I'm the wealthiest man on the planet for starters. Leaders across America and indeed the world look to me as a visionary driving technological progress in an area from transportation to communication to becoming a multi-planetary species. The kinds of projects I'm involved in would blow most people's minds. To the outside observer, I'm sure it seems like I have it all, and maybe I do, although I'd like to make one simple request. Please, for the love of all that is holy, consider me clever and interesting. Honestly, I don't get why anyone wouldn't like me. I do cool stuff. I make cars. People like cars, don't they? I make stonks go to the moon. Isn't that cool? Isn't making stonks go to the moon something people like? Seriously, come on, appreciate me. I was on Rick and Morty. People love that show. I like to hang out. I microdose acid, a cool drug. Remember that time I went on Joe Rogan's podcast and smoked a joint? Who else would be crazy enough to do that but me? All I want is for you to be nice to me. Please be nice to me. Please be my friend. Will you be my friend? You can even just pretend to be my friend if you want. Because look, frankly, it's not enough to have spent my childhood wanting for nothing due to my father's massive wealth, to have struck it rich of a fairly dull money transfer service idea that I didn't even come up with, to have alienated and berated everyone I've ever worked with, to lie repeatedly that I was the original founder of Tesla, to amass enormous wealth off taxpayer-funded subsidies while insisting that I'm self-made, to wield my influence and inane ideas for unworkable projects to prevent actual functional improvements in multiple cities, to receive uncritical adulation from the fawning business and tech presses, to foster a repressive and even racist workplace in my factories replete with numerous labour violations, all in the name of making cars that don't even really work. No, it's not enough. What I desperately need is for you to think that I'm cool and funny. I need this. Please give me that satisfaction. Me, a 50-year-old man with the net worth of a decent-sized country, forced to stoop to bizarre and pathetic stunts for attention. Either that or cultivating a personal brand of eccentricity generates publicity and financial support that I can then leverage to distract from my essentially fraudulent business endeavors. Yes, it's one of those two things for sure. Please like me. I need this. I really do. I'm sad. Please. So Elon Musk loves comedy. Comedy is now legal on Twitter, but apparently he actually hates funny things. He hates when Ethan Klein actually does like a very funny satire of him. And that Onion article is just so good because it is so true. This guy, the richest man on earth, a guy who's had it all, a guy who probably has on paper an amazing life, so many hours a day reading Twitter, and someone wrote a hilarious tweet. Unlike most rich people and famous people who you could say horrible things about on Twitter and they'd never ever see it, Elon Musk is pretty likely to read it if it goes a bit viral, because that is how fragile he is. Because again, like I said, he just wants people to like him, and I think you could probably make a good film because his own dad hates him. He also married his own stepdaughter. It sounds like a lovely family. And it probably explains so much. Like, if you did a film about Elon Musk's life, you'd have to really delve deep into the psychology of why he's so embarrassing, of why despite having like so much conventional success and so much power, that all he really wants is for people to say that he's funny on Twitter, for people to laugh at his really boomer divorced dad memes, for people to tell him he's smart for just saying random stuff and saying that he'll do it, like he'll bring back Vine or he'll create all these crazy things when in essence they're stupid, they're ridiculous, and he builds things on really exploitative labor and he treats people like garbage. This guy is a terrible person, but underneath all that, what fuels him being a terrible person is just a need to be liked. And the neglect from his dad, I think, is very telling, because it seems like he's just been looking for this all his life. And he'll go as far as buying Twitter for $44 billion when Twitter doesn't make any money, just to control it, and people like Mr. Beast or Lex Fridman to tell him he's awesome. Myself, I'm pretty mad Elon Musk is buying Twitter. If you've grown like a social media account, it takes ages. Like, I've had my YouTube Twitter since like 2017. I'm nearly on 10,000 followers. And just the thought that now this guy owns a platform and is destroying the platform is really depressing. And I'm not just talking about it as some sort of like ego trip that like, oh, I have 10,000 followers. It's just, I like interacting with people who are like me and, being a part of this like left-wing online community. And I feel like Twitter is the best place for it, because Reddit is fine, Instagram is okay, but you just don't get that sense of like online community like you do on Twitter. And this guy's going to ruin it. And he only bought it because he has a fragile ego. So I'm pretty mad about that. And I'm hoping that he'll just sell it again for a really reduced price and he'll just get off the platform, because I want Twitter to stay around. But I cannot really see it really doing well with Elon at the helm. But what I will say is, to end the video, I hope this wakes more people up. People who like Elon Musk for anything else he does, I hope this Twitter fiasco makes them realize that, oh yeah, those things weren't that great either. Or they were just Elon swooping in and buying stuff and then claiming credit for it, because any success these groups have is not because of his leadership. It's because of the good people working at these companies who might be creative, who might make good advancements in certain technological things like cars or rockets and stuff. It's not Elon Musk. It's pretty clear he doesn't really know much about anything. He definitely doesn't know how to run a business successfully. It's probably people who backseat drive as Elon as his figurehead, and they do most of the hard work, because I cannot believe a guy who's this stupid earned any of the success on his own, and I think it proves that we do not live in a meritocracy. Capitalism is not a meritocracy. Then a guy like this is the richest man on earth. He makes Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates look infinitely smarter than he is. And part of the reason is, I don't know what Jeff Bezos thinks about every little thing in the world. And Jeff Bezos generally, despite being quite embarrassing himself, is not always tweeting divorced dad boomer memes. Anyway, that is it for the video. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Let me know what you guys think of my new setup, the sound, everything like that. And if you made it this far, thank you for watching.